It's interesting the number of people that had similar stories about time, spending time, and how spending a lot of time is really less time. Particularly NatureJunkie, who compared it to doing mezzotint. I'm going to leave that. Mezzotint prints. So she actually sent me 3 of hers then, and I said, oh, I would like to see some of those. So she sent me some. They're there as video responses on that episode. I forget the number of it. The one about time. People were talking about how raking 140 acres of leaves can do the same thing. There's all kinds of ways. There's lots of big jobs. Somebody, who was it? Lung Wizard 1. Thanks for your comment and your suggestion, but it's not going to happen, I hope. Lung Wizard suggested that, what if I just had an unfinished quilt, like an unfinished symphony? Not a good idea. That's why I'm doing this like every day. I can't put it aside. If I were to put this aside, even for 3 days, say, I would never pick it up again. It would wind up in the pile of unfinished projects. So I have to do it all now, or it won't get done. I guess the oldest unfinished project I have was begun in the 60s. And every time I've done an unload event, like the Pressing 70 project or the Loose Ends, I still haven't thrown that away. It's the I-Ching-Cape. It's still in, I know the drawer, I know the place. I haven't even looked at it maybe in at least a decade. I knew I should have taken it out, but what to do with a thing like that? Well, what if I run true to form, what to do with it is to make a video with it, right? Because it's my theory that if you make a video with it, then you can let go of it. You don't have to have the object anymore, and let somebody else carry on with it. Oh, I got it out. This is it. It's almost done. It has the hexagrams going down the front and around the bottom are larger. Then there's some. If you have never examined the I-Ching, the hexagrams are made up of 6 lines, some broken, some solid. And the designs change. You can look at it for hours in various layouts and be quite taken. We're starting here at the bottom with the 6 solid on the right and the 6 broken on the left. And then it's a process of them changing. Now you have 1 solid on the top, and it goes around. The Book of Changes. So these are velvet ribbons that I appliqued on. And Harpsy 8 suggested, where's my place here? Harpsy 8 suggested that yes, there are some things you have to think about here. It's not all that simple. Because I'm trying to do something creative with my pattern here, sort of making it up as I go along. And you remember what Joe, the quilter, said a couple of videos back. Letting the unexpected and the unplanned happen, that's what gives it character and makes for the interesting quilt. So I don't want to be getting too uptight here. My mother was meticulous. You know, that's always considered a very positive trait. But I really think it can be dangerous and stultifying to creative energy. It's something I'm always having to resist. So, Harpsy 8 has been giving me wonderful responses about his grandmother's quilting, and he mentioned that she sometimes quilted with a yarn. That's an interesting technique. It's much faster, and you're not actually sewing with that. If I understand right what he's talking about, her using yarn. What you normally see in those old quilts, and it was a standard way of quilting, was you tied. It became an ornamental textural device, and you would pick your points and you would tie a knot, and the little threads would be hanging out. You'd cut it off. You'd maybe have them all even, cut off the same way. And so it gave another texture to the quilt. Actually, anything that you do at this point changes the texture. So it's no longer just a simple flat piece of pieced fabric. It's got shadows to it. It's got another thing happening on top of that pieced. So, you know, I have so many odds and ends, little trinkety things, beads and things that I've gotten in my travels that I often think of, why not just include a lot of other things rather than just the thread? Of course, it might not feel like anything you wanted to sleep under, but it would certainly be interesting.